FanBase 球迷世界觀眾大家好，今日好高興咧，揾到前英格蘭國家隊嘅王牌前鋒奧雲喺呢度同大家傾下佢嘅生活，同埋傾下佢嘅足球。Nice to have you with us here, Michael.
Thank you.
And obviously, being a former England international and one of the best strikers in the world. And your last England cap was at the age of 29. And do you think you would have contributed more if you had been picked more at that time?
I think so. I think my career was slowly going down around that time. But I'd always been pretty much from the start an England regular. And then I went from being in the team under Sven-Göran Eriksson and Steve McLaren and other managers to then, as soon as Fabio Capello came, just out straight away. So that was quite hard for me at the time, just being out straight away. I was at Newcastle at the time, so it's easier to be in the national team if you're playing for Liverpool or Manchester United, but as I was at Newcastle at the time, the manager never came to watch me play much, and unfortunately that meant a quick end to my England career.
And obviously one of your controversial moves was playing for Man United. And what was your thinking behind that at that time?
Well, my whole career, obviously, my whole life has been as a Liverpool supporter, a Liverpool player. So I joined Liverpool at a very young age and obviously came through the ranks and played for the first team for many years. And then my idea, it was my idea at the time, was to go to Real Madrid for 1 or 2 years and then come back to play for Liverpool. Unfortunately, life doesn't always go to plan. By the time I was ready to come back, Liverpool had Fernando Torres, so they didn't really need me. So I ended up going to Newcastle. In that time as well, then Suarez signed. So again, I spoke to Liverpool and they didn't really need me back. So, you know, at every stage of my career, I tried to always come back to Liverpool. But as I say, there was no bad feeling because, you know, they had great strikers and they just didn't need another striker at the time. So that's when I had to obviously go to other different clubs, Newcastle, Manchester United, Stoke at the end of my career, because obviously there was no opportunity to go back to Liverpool.
What do you think about Liverpool and Man United fans? What do you think of both sets of supporters?
From a similar area of the country, obviously both teams being northwest type of teams, working class people, very, very passionate about the football. So I think there's a similarity in some respects. Obviously there's a huge rivalry because they've probably been the two most successful clubs in England for, well, ever. But I think both sets of fans have been used to great football for many, many years. They've both got a fan base around the world that is huge. So quite rightly they argue a lot and they compete a lot, and I'm sure they do over here in Hong Kong as well.
Yes. Can you share with us the best goal you've ever scored in your career?
The best goal I probably scored was for England against Argentina in the World Cup, 98.
1998.
Yeah. That was in my professional career. I definitely scored one better when I was younger. Playing for England as well, but not many people have seen it. But no, I think as a professional, that goal announced me to the world.
Who formed the best striking partnership with you in your club or country career? Was it Wayne, Robbie, or Emil?
That's a good question. I played with some great strikers. Obviously, Alan Shearer at Newcastle. He's the all-time Premier League goal scorer. At Real Madrid, playing with Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, and Raúl, great players. Rooney, great player. Fowler, as you say. If I was to name one player that I played my best with, I would say Heskey, because he was very opposite to me and he did a lot of the things that I couldn't do and I did some of the things that he couldn't do. So we tend to just match perfectly.
Yes, true. How do you see England's performance in the World Cup this year?
I think we've been very lucky with the draw. I think we've got Belgium in our group, which is a difficult team, but apart from that, I think we should go through. Panama, obviously, being one, and Tunisia being the other. So I think we should go through. If we do go through, then we play against Japan's group, And again, there's nobody in there that you think is a big superpower of football. So in theory, England fans will be very disappointed if we don't get to the quarterfinals. In saying that, we're a good team, but we're not a great team. We've not got some of the great players that we have had in recent years. You know, you look back at a few years ago, and we had Gerrard and Rooney and Rio Ferdinand and Lampard and Beckham and Scholes. We just had I was up front at the time. We had players that were genuine world-class players. Now, Harry Kane is world-class, and then you're starting to think, so we've got a good team, but it's not a great team.
A lot of football players would get into coaching or management, but what makes you into the cryptocurrency business?
Well, there's definitely a football link. Earlier on in the year, of course, cryptocurrency started making big news around the world, and I've always wanted a better link between myself and the fan base that I've had over in Asia, because obviously living far away is very difficult. So with the cryptocurrency, I thought it would be a great idea to involve a cryptocurrency team in my new project of all my football centres and other projects that I'm starting over here. And instead of having a normal cryptocurrency coin or token that just goes up or down in value like a stocks or shares, actually have that token that you can spend it in my football centres. So I'm going to do some interactive coaching. I'm going to have different charities that I'm going to be involved in, tickets for big football games around the world. There's going to be lots and lots of interaction, meet and greets. Okay, it's cryptocurrency that's going to have a value, and I'll enjoy hopefully seeing mine increase, but also to my fans, they can get involved and have more intimacy, and vice versa, I can get to know my fans a lot better as well.
It's going to be a lot of hard work in the future. How do you see the industry in terms of the development?
Well, it's a fascinating industry. Of course, you've always got to be aware of what's happening around you. If you want to stay at the top, you've got to be vigilant. Many years ago, we heard of this thing called the web and internet, and we didn't know what it was, and now all of a sudden everybody knows what it is. Cryptocurrency is possibly the next big thing that could be shaping the future of our lives and certainly impacting on the next generation. So I think it's always good to be vigilant. And again, in football terms, when I came into football, nobody had any technology to measure anything. Nowadays, you're measuring your sprints, your distance covered, the opposition, where their strengths are, your weaknesses, how you train, how you play. All these things are measured with technology. So football has embraced technology. We all embrace technology all the time, and I think cryptocurrency is another way, and that I'm trying to embrace it together with my footballing projects.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Michael.
Good.
And all the best in future.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you with us.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Thank you.